database backup method and restore, and the backup comparison. Now we will start the SQL Server recovery model. In SQL Server, there are three types of recovery model. The one is simple recovery model. In simple recovery model, does not permit to require the log backup and automatically truncate the log to keep the space the requirement is small. So in simple recovery model, automatically truncate the log backup. In the second one is full log recovery model. In full log recovery model, all the log backup are captured in the full recovery model and avoid the data loss due to damage or missing the data file, and permits the recovery to specified point in time. Means in full log recovery model, you can to restore the any point in time recovery in the database. And in full log recovery model, provide the highest level of data protection by fully logging all transactions. And the third one is bulk log recovery model. Lots of confusion regarding the bulk log recovery model, because the required the log backup for the transaction log management. In bulk log recovery model, only we can use only bulk copy operation, BCP, bulk insert, open row set, just types of when we require the transaction, then we using the bulk log recovery model. Okay. So there are three types of recovery model in SQL Server. And the next of backup strategy. The backup strategy is depend to organization to organization. Some organization to backup strategy, because it depend to the how many critical your database. Some production server have the backup strategy to full backup, differential backup, and transaction log backup. And some server have the strategy only to take the only full backup. Yeah, full and differential backup. So it's depend to organization. But a standard practices in production server, the retention policy should be 30 days, and the backup strategy weekly full backup and daily differential backup, and the transactional log backup is every 15 minutes. So we can say the data will be lost between 15 minutes. So in backup strategy should be driving in your organization recovery time and recovery point in objective. This will be determined what types of backup to be take and how often to be taken to take them. Monitor the system to ensure that the backup are successful. How can you check the backup are successful or not? So we have a command to restore verify only command. I will show you the practice session how it is work. And the place of backup on the dependable physical media in the separate from the data and log file. And the backup file should be in separate on network drive, yeah, any other drive to accept the data and log file. To avoid the storing the backup file on the production server, because some of the user may be impact some performance issue if we are taking the backup file in the production server. And the only way the truly test the backup to restore it, so we can check the backup is valid or not. So I will show you after that. So database backup method, the database backup method, we are four types of database method we can take in SQL Server. using the first is the backup database statement, and the second is SQL Server Management Studio, and third one is SQL Server Maintenance Plan, and fourth one is PowerShell backup command. So I will show you some demo, and one is the full database backup. What is the full backup? Full database backup. Full database backup of the entire database, every extent with at least one page allocated. Free data space is not included in full backup. Include data up to the point in time when the reading portion of the backup is completed. So we can say the in full backup we can restore any point in time to the database. Always include some transaction log data. This allows the backup to be a transactionally consistent even though the DML is allowed during the backup operation. During the backup operation, any insert, update and delete is performing under the database. It is captured in the full database backup. Data will be written to the first available backup device. This is important when the stripped backup are used. Data is not read through the buffer pool. So this is the command backup database name. Here is the database name is adventure works, and to this equal to path where we are taking the backup within it. The next is the differential database backup. Backup are extend to change since the last full database backup. Modified the extent are tracked using the differential change map allocation page. Store the active part of transactional log to be able to recover the database, independent of the other differential backup. Faster to restore than the transactional log backup for the same time of period, because the transactional log backup we need to restore every transactional log of the sequential wise. So it is the faster than the transactional log backup. So this is the command the backup database name to disk equal to path with the differential. Only will change in the full backup with the differential in it. And the next is the transactional log backup. Includes the log record since the last log backup. These are the called the incremental backup. We can say it is the incremental backup. Transactional log backup 2 is the incremental backup. Any in the transactional log backup, after full backup, the record we can restore the database through the transactional log backup. Inactive log records are attempt to be truncated afterwards. This may not always occur. Database must be in full or bulk log recovery model. Only full and bulk log recovery model you can take the transactional log backup. In simple recovery model, you can't take the transactional log backup. So this is the command for the transactional log backup. Backup log database name to disk equal to. Some of the other backups are in SQL Server, just like file and file group backup. When our database size is very large, then we use these backup, file and file group backup. So this is the command. It is the mention in below. The backup database adventure work file group is equal to file group. There are two file group 1 and file group 2. Then we can take the two file group backup. So in file group and file group backup, when our database size is very large and the organization is demand, then we can take the file and file group backup. And it is the copy only backup. A backup option that ensure that to restore sequence is not affected, means the LSN number is not affected in copy only backup. Most common when ad hoc backup are need to perform a specific task such as to restoring a full production to an alternative environment such that we need to restore the database production to development server and UAT server. Then we can take the copy only backup and restore the development and UAT server. So the copy only backup is be very useful. Is that? So this is the command, the copy only backup database name to disk equal to path with copy only. This is the syntax. And one more important backup is the tail log backup. A transactional log backup that capture any log record that have been not yet been backup. Before you can recover up to failure, a log backup is required. Not required if any recovery point is an earlier log backup. You do not need point in time restore after recent backup. Option in tail log backup there are three options. One is no recovery. When the restore operation will follow, the database set to restoring state. Continue after error when data file are missing or damaged but log file are intact. No truncate. Specify that the log not be truncated and attempt the backups regardless of the database state. Equivalent to using the copy only and continue after error. And one more backup is mirror backup. Mirrored backup gives you the ability to create a mirror copy of the database backup to a different location. A great option to ensure you have a redundant copy of the backup. To make sure we have the two copy of the database. Suppose we have to take the backup in the two separate location at a time. The command is backup database adventure work to disk equal to path and mirror to disk equal to app with no fault. So here we the example in single command we have to take the backup in two different location. One is D drive and second is F drive. So this is the mirror backup. Backup comparison. Backup comparison is very important to the database because the if we use the comparison option, it is reduce the storage requirement for the data by storing the data more efficiently, reduces the backup and restore times. It can have to considerable CPU cost and may impact concurrent operation unless a method is used to limit backup CPU utilization, because if we using the backup comparison, the backup is doing very fast. Enable using the SP configure to instance level. Backup comparison we have two options. We will show after that in live. So one is the SP configure. SP configure we can to configure is the instance level, and the second is database backup command for a single backup. For single backup we also use to the compress backup. Yeah, backup comparison ratio by dependent upon the type of data. To avoid the comparison rates, use the ratio of backup size and the compressed backup size column of the MHDB backup set history table. So configuring the backup comparison. By default in SQL Server, it is by default the off in the comparison level. So we need to enable the comparison level by the two options. One, if we to enable in the instance level, we use the command sdconfigure. We will show you how can we use the sdconfigure in instance level. And the second one is enable using the backup database command. I will show you one by one. And the restoring database. SQL Server 2012 support the following types of restore operation: full database restore, full differential and transactional log backup, system database restore, partial database restore, file and file group restore, advanced restore option. So today the live demo we will capture only the full differential and transactional log backup restoring database. Full database restore. The full database restored, full and differential backup are restored using the restore command statement. Only the last differential backup need to be a restore. Restore each backup in order and with no recovery. But the additional transactional log backup need to be a restored. Use the differential if restoring a differential backup. So I will give you an example. Suppose we have a schedule Sunday to full backup and daily the differential backup. The full backup is scheduled 12 a.m. on Sunday and the differential backup is 12 a.m. every day in the differential backup except Sunday. Means Monday to Saturday we have taking the differential backup and Sunday we are taking the full backup. Suppose we have the database is corrupted and database is not available on Wednesday at 10 a.m. Then how can we restore the database? If we have only full backup and differential backup we have, then we need to restore the last full backup Sunday 12 a.m. and we restore the differential backup Tuesday 12 a.m. Okay. So last differential backup we need to restore. Not every differential backup need to restore. So this is an example with no recovery option. There are two options: recovery and no recovery. A database must be recovered before it can be brought online. With recovery default, restore option perform a recovery after a restore completes with the bring the database is online. When we are using the recovery option, the database bring is online automatically. When using the with recovery performance and undo stage, the recovering state. With no recovery restore option, leave the database in a recovering state. Means if we using the no recovery option, when after that full backup we restore any differential backup, then we need to full backup with restore with no recovery option. Means the recovery of state allowing the additional restore operation on the database. Restore process is always involved with no recovery for all database restored except the last, with recovery for last backup restore. Always restore the backup first using with no recovery. You can recover the database in separate step later. And the last one is the transactional log restore. How can we restore the transactional log backup? Transactional log backup are restored using the restore log statement. Must be restored in the order in which the backup were taken. Gives you an ability to provide the stop at time for the point in time restore. Restore log database from disk equal to path with no recovery. And the point in time recovery. Enable the recovery of the database up to any arbitrary point in time that is the contained in the transactional log backup. Point in time can be defined the date time value provided, mark set through the named transaction. Database must be the full recovery model. Log may be a contain the bulk log section. Then we can take only point in time recovery. If the restore option in time during the period of minimally logged operation in restore fails, the stop at option is available in 2012. So this is the topic we have to cover in. Now I have to show some live demo. How can we take the backup and how can we restore the backup and how can we make the maintenance plan of the backups. So first I will show you the how can you take the full backup. You can see here my screen the backup database. We have the database Adventure Works 2012. We have lots of database here. So I have taken the first the full backup. So if you check my folder here, here we are taking the full backup under the SQL full backup folder. So we are using the comparison. Are we can use the compressor, means you can take the compressed backup. If we use only mention here the comparison, it is the backup is going on, and the backup is the completed. So the full backup is completed, and you can also check the path. Here is the Adventure Bug 2012. The backup is available. So you can see the size of the comparison level. It is showing only 14.6 MB. If we remove the comparison option and take the backup of full backup, then we see the size of the database. Now you see the size 14.6 MB. And here is the transactional differential backup command. Backup database name to disk equal to path with the differential. States we are using the 10, means we are in the percentage wise 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%. If we are using in 5, then it is showing the 5%. Just like that, you are taking the differential backup. We are running this command, and the differential backup is completed, and also we using the log backup, and the log backup is also completed, successfully completed. And you can check the folder, every folder full backup is available, differential backup is available, and the log backup is available. So we have 3 of backup. And then how can we restore the database? If we can drop this database, delete it. The database is deleted Adventure Work 2012 in my instance. Then how can we recover? How can you restore the database? So we are restoring the one by one. We are restoring the firstly full backup. Here we using the with no recovery option, means after full backup we are restoring the differential. A transactional log backup, we need to restore the full backup with no recovery option. So here is the command, the database name, the Adventure Bug 2012 from disk equal to path, where we are taken the backup before. So this is the command, and the database is restoring. And the Adventure Bug 2012 is now it is showing the restoring state. Why? Because we are restore the database in no recovery option. This database is not available to the user right now because it is not being online right now. So after that, we need to restore the differential backup, the transactional log backup. Suppose we have the transactional differential backup. Now we are restoring that differential backup to over there. So here is the command. So the differential backup is restored. We are restoring the differential backup is recovery state. So now our database is recover state, recovering state. Now the you can see the adventure work 2012 is now the recover state. Now it is available to all the user. So in SQL Server, the retention policy and the backup is very important part of our every DBA. It is the day-to-day activities and lots of works related to backup. Suppose we need to restore the production backup to development server, a UAT server, a staging server. So it is the day-to-day activities task. So we need to follow all that things. How can we restore the backup, full backup, differential backup, a transactional log backup, and how can we restore in the sequential way? Okay. And one more things, we have to verify. How can you verify the backup is valid or not? It is a very important thing, because my database size is very large and we are taking the backup. If my backup is some corrupted, and how can you find, we can check the database is valid or not? So this is the command, simple command, just restore verify only from disk equal to path where your backup is there. So you are check this command, the backup is valid or not. If we run this command, it is showing the backup set on file 1 is valid. If the backup file is corrupted, then it is showing the backup set file 1 is invalid. So before in slide, we are to configure the comparison option. So there are comparison option. One we have to show here with comparison option in the command mode, and the secondary I have to showing to the instance level. We have to configure the backup operation in the instance level. So if you check the sp configure command in the command prompt, just like the new window in the new query, and you run simple sp configure, and you can here see the backup comparison default is configure value is 1. Now in this instance level, the comparison is available. So firstly we have to, I have to enable this comparison in the instance level, so I have to disable this comparison level. So I have run this command. Now you can check here, again run the sp configure, and now you are showing the backup comparison default is 0 and the value is 0, means by default the comparison option is disabled in SQL Server. Now it is the same. Now if you want to comparison option is enabled of all the instance level is available of all the database, you need to just run this command 0 to 1. Execute sp configure backup comparison default 1 and reconfigure with override, and just execute this command, and now you can see here, run here, and you can see the backup comparison default is 1. Now it is enabled in the instance level. Comparison is enabled in the instance level. Now whenever you take the backup of any database, the comparison is enabled by default. So this is the backup and restored part. So in next demo we will restore on the system database and some advanced option in SQL Server. How can we restore of the system database if master database is corrupted? model, MSDB, and I have shown the next demo class. And one more things, we, you can schedule via the backup in the maintenance plan. You have the 200 database in single instance, if you take the one by one backup in manually, it will take longer time. So we need to maintenance plan. Simple, you go to the manage instance, and then management, under that the management maintenance plan, and right click the maintenance plan, and new maintenance plan is there, and you can click here new maintenance plan, and you can here the full backup. Now I'm showing you how can we create the maintenance plan, and how can you take the backup through the maintenance plan. So here is the backup database tasks, just drag and drop, and double click on that, and here is the mention where is the maintenance plan, full backup, differential backup, and transactional backup. Just I am showing here the full backup, all the database, all user database, excluding all database we are taking. And here is the path, here is the directory and subdirectory if you want, means subdirectory. This is the extension. By default the backup extension is BAK. You can change here, otherwise you can keep same. Suppose we are taking the backup in D drive, SQL backup, and here we are mentioning the maintenance and maintenance underscore backup. Just copy this path and paste there. Now we have enabled the compression option in the instance level, otherwise you can choose here to compress backup or not. If you want to compress backup here, and some problem. So it is the some problem is there. So it is not an issue. So just to mention the path and the click the OK, and the one job is created, and you can run this job, and you can take the backup, and you can also schedule there weekly backup, weekly, monthly, or daily basis. You can mention here what times you want to run, mention there, and click OK, and one job backup job will be created, and it is run automatically whatever you did schedule. So the session is over, and the next session we will cover the advanced level, the how can we restore the system database related, some advanced level of the backups. So thank you guys, thank you very much. Bye.